Hey y'all, and welcome to the Sprinkle Factory YouTube channel where we cover everything culinary. This is Chef Sprinkle, and I'm back with another delicious recipe. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and join our Sprinkle Squad. Today, we're going to be making the most delicious ever chicken Parmesan, you guys. Let's get right into it. The first thing that we want to start with, of course, is going to be our delicious tomato sauce. I have about a medium yellow onion, about a half of green bell pepper, and probably about 4 or 5 cloves of chopped garlic. We're going to put that in a pot, you guys, with a couple of tablespoons of butter. And we're going to begin our layering of seasoning. So the first layer, of course, are going to be our veggies. We want to make sure we season those, and those are nice and flavorful. So the trick to this, you guys, is just cooking them until they are translucent and nice and tender, because we want to kind of allow them to melt in the tomato sauce and make it super, super, super delicious. As you guys can see, I am putting some Italian seasoning. Italian seasoning are really just some prominent herbs, dried herbs, such as oregano and basil and things like that. And then we're going to also add in some red pepper flakes. Now, it's important to me to add it at this step because we are allowed to toast it. So if you add it right into the tomato sauce, you don't have the opportunity to toast it over direct heat, you guys, and allow the oils to escape. So after that, we're going to saute this, of course. And then, as you guys can see, I didn't start by putting the garlic in because sometimes when you cook garlic too much, for example, the amount of time that the onions and the bell peppers had to cook, it may get a little bitter. So the next thing that we're going to do, you guys, is we're going to add in our tomatoes paste. And I do this way as well, so I'm able to toast the tomato paste, and it's able to get nice and deep and robust in flavor. And then we're going to add in the rest of our tomato sauce elements. Just like that. Super, super, super easy. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to add in our tomato sauce, you guys. So I'm adding in a large jar of Prego tomato sauce. And then I'm also going to add in a can of diced tomatoes, Italian style, you guys. So these were stewed with Italian herbs. And then we're going to let all of this come together. It's going to be so, so, so delicious. Just a couple more things we're going to add before we let this bad boy cook down and let everything marry as far as flavors. Now, this is the step where you want to taste your sauce. Everyone may be different. I wanted some more seasoning in my sauce, so this is when you add it. And then another important thing that we're going to do, and of course, we're adding just a sprinkle seasoning, duh. All-purpose seasoning, you guys. Only seasoning you need with this entire recipe. Now, I'm going to put y'all on to something real quick. My mom's secret, a pinch of nutmeg. May sound weird. It may sound outlandish, but trust me, you need this. Just try it. Just try it one time. Trust me. The next thing that we're going to add, you guys, is going to be a little bit of sugar. We are not making a sweet sauce, but we definitely want to take the bite, the bite that makes the back of your jaws tense up a little bit. We want to take that away. So this way it is super easy to enjoy this sauce. So we just added about 3 tablespoons of sugar just to cut the acid, and we're all done. Put this on low, put it to the side, and allow it to do its thing for about an hour. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to boil our noodles, you guys. We're going to boil our noodles in some chicken broth. So I have some boiling water here, and I did add in a bouillon cube just to make sure that everything is nice and flavorful. We're going to put our spaghetti in the water, you guys, and boil it for the amount of time the package requires, okay? And then we're all done. Now, a trick that you guys, I don't know if you know this or not, but to prevent pasta and rice and things from boiling over, my grandma always taught me, put the wooden spoon in the pot. Works every time. So the next thing that we're going to do is something that is super, super important, which is going to be preparing our chicken breast for our chicken parmesan, you guys. Super simple. To me, chicken parmesan does not require a big, huge, meaty chicken breast. So I always just trim it up, and then I'm going to cut it in half. And then I'm going to pound it out just to make it even more tender. But this way you have an even ratio of the chicken and the breading and the sauce, and everything is just freaking delicious. Just like that, you guys, this technique is super easy. It is called butterflying the chicken breast, where you take the knife and you run it right down the center the long way, and you open up the entire chicken breast. Okay. After that, you guys, we are going to get our breading station together. And if you can believe it, we are pretty much halfway done. So stick around and we'll get right into breading in just a second. So we have three processes here. Number one is going to be flour. Number two is egg wash. Number three, we have some breadcrumbs, not just regular. We have Italian style breadcrumbs, you guys, and make sure that you put in about 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese into your breadcrumbs. Just makes everything better. And make sure that you season your flour. Very important. Now, of course, what we're going to do is we're going to put it in the flour first. The flour is going to absorb any of the moisture on the outside of the chicken, which is going to allow the rest of the breading to stick. Now, putting it into the egg wash, this is going to be a glue or binder, if you will, to allow the breadcrumbs to stick to the entire chicken breast, and you'll get a nice, thick, delicious, crunchy, flavorful crust. So the last step, of course, is the breadcrumbs. Make sure you load it up pretty good. Make sure once it is covered, you do press it in. Make sure you press it in and allow it to adhere and stick deep down into the chicken. Just like that. Make sure we let these sit for 20 minutes. We want the crust to form. We want the moisture and the breadcrumbs and everything to come as one. So the crust will be nice and thick, and it will stay on the chicken breast when we are frying. We're going to do a shallow fry, you guys. Just going to put a little bit of oil in the bottom of the skillet, and that's what we're going to use to fry our chicken breast. Super, super, super freaking easy. Make sure you don't load your pan up, because of course then it'll take away from the heat, which in turn will not give you a crispy crust on the outside of your chicken, you guys. So depending on the size of the chicken breast, depending on how thin you pounded them out, usually it takes about 4, maybe 5 minutes on each side. Just pay attention to it. Super simple. Now, once all of your chicken breasts are done, my favorite part, you guys, I'm a cheesehead. I just love, 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 love cheese, extra cheese on everything. Please, period. Okay. So what we have here is we have some fresh mozzarella, some shredded mozzarella, and some fresh Parmesan cheese. Don't cheat yourself with this recipe. Use fresh Parmesan cheese, you guys, okay? It's definitely totally going to be worth it. So while the chicken breasts are hot, straight out the grease, you want to go ahead and add your first layer of cheese, which is going to be your Parmesan cheese. And then after that, we're going to layer it with some sauce. If you guys are going to see that I am going to make half with fresh mozzarella because I love fresh mozzarella and half without, only because who I was preparing it for wasn't a fan of fresh mozzarella. So totally your call there. Either way, it is super delicious. So we're just going to layer these up. We're going to pop them in the oven and the chicken will be done.
What we do here is go back, 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 back.
Now, while those are baking, you guys, and really the dish is fully cooked, so just bake it until your cheese is nice and melty and bubbly and as brown as you would like it. I'm going to season up my spaghetti noodles. So I added some fresh Parmesan cheese. We're going to add some red pepper flakes. We're going to add some fresh basil, and then we're going to grate some fresh Parmesan into the noodles as well. There's no point in having your noodles taste like water. You guys, jazz them up so this way they'll add to the element of the sauce. So the next thing that we're going to do, you guys, if you would just follow along, is going to be plate this beautiful dish up, and then we're going to get into a slow-mo. Once we have everything plated nice and beautifully, we are going to, of course, hit it with some more fresh Parmesan cheese, you guys. The dish is called chicken Parmesan, okay? So you cannot be too extreme with the Parmesan cheese. We're just going to tear up some fresh basil, you guys. Give a nice fresh bite to the dish. We're going to add that on top of the chicken and on top of the spaghetti. And you are pretty much done. Me personally, what I like to do is I like to add a few red pepper flakes on top of my plate just to make it a little spicier, have a little bit more of a kick. But pretty much, you guys, that is totally it. But in true Sprinkle Factory fashion, I've missed this. Let's get into a slow mo. And just like that, y'all, you have made chicken parmesan from scratch. I love y'all so, so much. I hope that you enjoyed this video. As my grandma would always say, this dish definitely is finger licking time. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share with all of your friends. And as always, I'll see y'all next time.